Next up is Joe from Evergreen Profits. Sometimes less is actually more. In this talk, Joe's going to reveal how one piece of content can become the best way to attract raving new fans and other winning methods for leveraging your existing content to grow a tribe of buyers. Joe, the stage is yours.
Hey, my name is Joe Fear, and in this presentation, I want to show you something close to my heart and also my partner, Matt Wolf. He's also my co-host in our podcast. And what we do is leverage content like crazy to make money in multiple streams of revenue. So in this presentation, I want to show you how to leverage your existing content to actually grow a tribe of buyers. So the beautiful thing is existing content. This is stuff that you probably already worked on or you're already doing. I want to show you how to multiply its efforts and basically make money in many forms from that content. So little background, super fast, is that Hustle and Flowchart, this is our podcast. This is our ground where we create all of our content. So it's a marketing-based show. So we're marketers first, we're podcasters. So we combine that to create a podcast and a whole bunch of other marketing type content that is related to our audience. So I'll show you how that all is connected and how that reflects on this presentation and what you'll learn. We're also affiliate marketers, so that's how we make our money in other products typically, but we have our own membership site. So what I'll share with you works for your own offers, for other people's offers, if you like promoting other people's services, products, and all that type of things. We're curators of content as well. So I'll show you why that's so powerful, how that fits into a content model that maybe you can integrate in your own business if you're not doing it already. So I'm going to go through 3 strategies that will build off of this map that I show you. I'm going to show you this big content plan. It's basically our big journey of how people discover us and then work through joining our email list and buying our products and other people's products and then kind of continuing that relationship. But throughout the whole process, our bond with our customers and with our community gets stronger and stronger. So these strategies, which I'll go through after that map, are really going to allow you to swipe any one of these. I'm going to go kind of quick because these are in-depth strategies. So pick one or maybe 3 of them. But at the end of the day, make sure to take action. Please, please, please. So might go a little fast, so strap in. All right. And this is why, because content in general, it runs our business. This fuels everything we do. So we want to make sure that we make the most of our content and actually have momentum in our business and momentum in the world. We want to give value to the most amount of people possible. So we want to leverage the time that when we're creating content, we want to have that actually multiply. But when we're creating content, and then when we're creating all of the other different systems and ways to repurpose that content into different forms and purposes, is we're thinking about the journey. We're thinking about specifically this question on the bottom. What's the next step? What's next for the folks reading or listening or watching our content? And this is typically the call to action, but it also can just be another, a free value add or a new thing, a perspective you want to introduce. So we're always taking our audience on a journey, no matter what we're doing with our content in life. I mean, you're going through your own journey. We're all figuring out what is our next best step. So when you're building your journey, especially with your content, you always want to make sure you're keeping that in mind because it's the most relevant to your folks. The people consuming your content, they're more likely to take an action with you. So this might be a little confusing, so just take a breath really fast, and I will too. This is basically our content map. This explains how we get attention with our content, but also where we lead people once they discover us. Now, what I want to say is this little blue or this blue box right in the middle, this is our podcast, but this is where our content starts. This is where we put 90%, 95% of our efforts. And when I say ours, it's my effort and my partner, Matt. So we are the content creators. This is where we focus that effort. We're not focused in all these other places necessarily. We have systems to support that, and we have a flow that makes sense, and we know what's going to happen after we create this middle content. So for you, think about what content you're already creating systematically or ongoingly, or if you haven't done this yet in your business, which you definitely should. Content is king, and it will drive all sorts of attention, leads, and sales. Figure out what kind of content you would be most comfortable in creating consistently. And that could be a blog post. You could be writing instead or typing instead of talking. We choose podcasting, but if you're good behind the mic, or if you're doing a lot of audio content already, well, think about how to leverage that. And then you might be doing videos, stuff like on YouTube or Vimeo or anything in between. Make sure that is the key component in the middle here for your map. So this could be a good thing you screenshot if you want to right now and just kind of ponder on it for a while. Most people stare at this, and let me explain it really fast. So our content all starts in the middle, and the key thing that most people can kind of just swipe, and this is one of our first strategies, is how to extend that content and create a lead magnet from that content. So we actually have lead magnets that are created from our podcast episodes. I'll dig into all the details in a minute. But after the lead magnet, that same content all turns into our paid membership as well. And the beauty there is that paid membership, this whole branch here, essentially supports everything we create with our content marketing. That's the cool thing, is once you figure out a very simple system that kind of extends off of your core content, you can really do a lot. It affords you to get really creative, but at the same time, what you're doing with this process is creating a buyer community. These are the folks that are interested in what you're putting out there in terms of your content, your brand, and they want to go deeper. So I'll explain this in a minute. But you can see that we're actually making money in a couple different formats with this membership, a digital version, and we have a physical newsletter component of this as well. Again, it's all starting with the podcast. For you, this might be a YouTube channel, or it might be a blog. It's all good. Just making sure you know how to extend the branches from that piece of content. So for us, I'm just going to break down these a little quicker. On the right side over here, we make sure to repurpose everything to YouTube. So we know that, an audio format is great, but not everyone's going to listen to audio podcasts. So we want to make sure that we're showing up on YouTube. So if people are more visual, or if we're not present on the YouTube platform, we're doing something wrong, because it's a huge platform. Obviously, it's owned by Google, integrated really well. So we want to have a presence there. So now our audio is turned into video content. And what that allows us to do is SEO and, get that referral traffic from related videos on YouTube and leverage our hard work here, maybe some guest names we've had on the podcast. Allows us to extend our branding, stay top of mind, and we do a lot of affiliate sales on YouTube as well. I'll dig into that just a little bit more. Now down here for the podcast, we're always we're also creating a blog on top of everything. So this is where the written word comes into play. So now, we have audio again here, we have video here, and now we're getting a different modality, which is the written word. And again, this is just serving different people. It could serve the same people, but allowing folks to go a little deeper. Now, the beauty with the blog is that it allows us to really go deep on SEO. So the beauty of that is that is actually our number one driver of traffic. And that is because of our podcast content and how often we're releasing. We release 2 podcast episodes per week. But what we're doing is creating a really detailed blog post around each podcast episode. So now we're able to SEO our podcast, which drives people to our blog. And then, with that, we're able to grow our email list. We're doing a lot of email retargeting. And we can, of course, link to different offers like affiliate offers, our own offers, and anything else that we've mentioned on the podcast. So as a result of the podcast, again, now we have video, we have written word with all these benefits. We also have a lead magnet on top, growing our list and selling into a membership that we control, and people pay us monthly or annually. But we also have email content. So we, of course, want to send consistent emails based off of, topics and things that people are interested in our community, in our, that are listening, that are watching, that are reading. Now these emails, again, the content is created from our podcast. Sure, we have formatting and we change things up, but what we're doing is we're creating sequences or automated journeys. We use ActiveCampaign, but you can use another email autoresponder. But we're creating sequences based off of the journey. Again, we're asking ourselves, what's next? So we'll break down a little bit more of how we're doing emails and some cool actions when it comes to automations and triggers based off of what people do. So I just want to ask you really quick and think about this a little deeper, and maybe this is something you take away later, is what does your current journey look like for your audience, for your listeners, readers, viewers, and also for your customers, because that all should be connected. And if you don't have a journey yet, well, perfect opportunity to draw one up right now. So just have that in mind as we're going through here. I'm going to start with the first of the 3 strategies. So this was, this was kind of an overview. Now we're going to dive deep. So this branch you're looking at on the left side was actually the piece that was on the top. So this is now breaking down and showing how we have this podcast. These are, some of the names and people we've had on. Well, the beauty of this is that we're now turning each one of these folks, these episodes, which are an hour, at least an hour long. So there's a lot of content there. What we do is we create these notes, and these are called action guides or episode companions. They're kind of like cliff notes of every episode that we create. So it's an easy call to action on the podcast for us that basically says, hey, do you want to just get the action guides and all the cool tips and nuggets that were dropped, the strategies, tactics? We're taking the notes for you. All you got to do is just opt in at flowchartgroup.com. I mean, you don't have to go there. That's our CTA. It's just automatic. So we actually send people to a page. It's our Facebook group for them to opt in. And, we have some automations. We won't go into that now, but we deliver these action guides based off of content we have up here. So we actually have a note taker that takes about 3 to 4 pages or so of notes and all the specifics from the episode. And they now are turned into this document that's free for 2 weeks from every episode going live. Now, after 2 weeks, those notes now go into our membership, which is a paid membership. So when people join the notes, they have an opportunity to join the membership either at a digital or a physical level. So digital, $59 a year, physical is $15 a month. Now, what's really cool is the physical version, as you can see here, turns into a print newsletter that people absolutely love. And so I wanted to show this part because, most people might have a digital membership. You might have one of those. But think about how you can add a physical element into your content as well. So if you can get into physical mail and take your online digital content and now start sending physical mail actually to someone's house or office in their inbox, now you're on a whole nother dimension. You are top of mind. You're growing this bond to folks where they literally, we get messages all the time. I keep your letters, these types of letters on my desk all the time when I work, or it's something I reference every single month and highlight and sit down away from a computer. These are all things and ways that we can really create a nice relationship with folks, but also it creates this bond. I mean, it's just, or this kind of, they become evangelists for our brand in an interesting way. So starting up here again, podcast, and then you go to free notes based off of, the content. And then each month we basically compile all those notes and they become the newsletter. So, members have that all in one place. They also have a whole digital membership area that has a bunch of notes and stuff that's curated again from the podcast. So I said at the top of the presentation, we're curators, and that's because we're bringing on people in our network to give us amazing tactics and strategies that we can then share in the form of a podcast, in notes to help us grow our email list. And then now, we have 2 weeks of those live for free for folks. After that, then it goes into a paid membership. And then again, we have a digital, physical, but also we have videos and all that kind of cool stuff in here from our podcast guests. So again, it's curated content throughout this whole thing. We're not having to create any more content other than what we did right up here. It's just systems and processes and some people that do the rest, and it's not expensive. Again, this funds everything we do with our content marketing. So quick takeaways from this first strategy is, and again, this is turning your existing free content into paid content and then growing a community in the same process. So some takeaways, just think about what content are you already creating and how are you going to be able to recreate that into a different medium, a different modality that you can actually sell. So some examples down here, you can have blog posts, and then you can convert those into videos. Maybe you just speak through, and you have yourself on video. Maybe you make some slides, some nice animations. Well, those videos can become a paid membership. You could sell those videos. So that's premium content. Maybe you're showing, specific screenshots, how to do it, something a little deeper. But really, that content has all been derived from blog posts. And, those could be for customers only, the videos. Another option are videos or podcasts can be converted to written notes, like I was kind of showing in our example. Those can either be freebies or, for growing your list as a lead magnet, or they could be notes for customers that you can sell on the back of your videos or podcasts. Think about blog posts. Those can be converted into physical newsletters, printed newsletters, like we do, and you can sell those things. And there is a lot of value in these different modalities. It's just keeping the consumption a little easier on the audience, and it allows you to stay top of mind and really solve people's problems a lot easier. So strategy number 2, and these are going to go a little deeper on what we've already covered now. So strategy number 2 is connecting all of your content to some type of offer. And when I say offer, it doesn't mean selling something right off the bat. It goes back again to what's the next thing on this journey that we want to take people down. So when I talk about this, I'm talking about, we have our podcast again, but now we have our show notes page or our blog posts. And this is what I was mentioning earlier, is if people are on here, there's typically a reason they're on here. They might want to listen to the podcast episode right here, but typically it's not the case. It's, they might discover it and listen, but further down here, we're going to have a lot more resources for them to embark on. They're able to take a deeper step with us, because one of our call to actions in some of our content, they point back to episode pages. Well, on this page, we're able to link to affiliate offers that our guests have mentioned. Maybe it's their own products or other tools they mention. We make a lot of our affiliate revenue off of marketing tools and promoting those. So when we link all that stuff on our episode pages, it helps us out tremendously. But also going into other places, how about other blog posts that you might not have figured out what is the next best step for folks? Even if it's just something, you write a blog post and then you kind of review it again, and there might be a phrase or maybe some topic you mention in the blog post that links to something else. That could be the next step. It doesn't have to link to an offer, but what's another value add to take folks to that then could be maybe a page around an offer where you can, promote your own offer or maybe an affiliate offer. The point is, always think of making this the next step for folks. So you can think about this when it comes to your blog posts. Think about YouTube descriptions. If you have content on YouTube, a lot of people don't really leverage that description on the bottom to optimize your video, but also take people to the next step of where is best on their journey. Emails, of course, thinking of ways to gracefully and always with a lot of value. We don't really direct link to any affiliate offers or offers in general. It's typically to more content. So you always want to make it a nice, smooth transition. And then same with any social media posts, any live streams you're doing. Just think of what's the next step? That's all we're trying to do here. And usually you can monetize fairly quickly if you're doing that, because you're serving first and then always offering a solution within that content. All right, so the third strategy I want to give you here is a little bit more advanced, but it's a really good concept that I think you should understand, and if you can implement it, even better. So this is all about triggering emails from the content that you have. Now, what I mean by this is you can actually leverage an email list, your email list, and we use ActiveCampaign as our email autoresponder. So you can leverage your email list to turn your content consumers, so just readers, into product buyers. And the way we do that, let me just give you an example. We promote, a lot of marketing software. And so we'll have people on our email list that, again, maybe have come through the podcast. So it's kind of like a broad audience at first for us. But what we can do is ActiveCampaign and some other ones allow you to place a little bit of code on your website that basically helps track the people who are already on your email list and will assign some kind of tag based off of what they're consuming on your website. So for an example, we'll send an email about a shopping cart, let's say. ThriveCart is a shopping cart we promote. We love it. So we send some emails around it. But sometimes we send these broad emails to a new blog post we wrote about that piece of software. And it's, some strategy, some cool thing, case study maybe. So let's say someone clicks that email and then goes to our website. Well, our website now is going to tag that person, kind of like a retargeting pixel, but for your email list. It's going to tag that person with this interest of shopping cart or something else that we might call it. So now we know, okay, they started here as more of a broad audience, but now because they clicked that email, went to this blog post about a shopping cart, Thrivecart, we know they're interested in that. So what we can do is trigger some follow-up sequences that are totally relevant to shopping carts and more Thrivecart content or conversion optimization. And we can do that based off of the action, not without another opting in or anything like that, but actually now every message is catered exactly to what we think they're most interested in. So we're going to kind of allow them to go down the rabbit hole if they choose to pay attention to these emails. Obviously, we can't control that part of it. But that's how we're sending a lot of affiliate promotions in a way that doesn't feel like we're sending a lot of affiliate promotions, because this allows us to keep the messaging very aligned with what people are actually intending that they want. This is them raising their hand. So we want to give them more of what they're interested in. So that's really the point of this. And just to give you an example, this is a blog post that we might write on our website. And this one's for a tool called ConvertBox that we love. This is like a little slide-in tool. It's not ours, but I highly recommend checking it out. But it gives you an opportunity, in addition to what I was explaining with the tagging, you can actually change these little ConvertBox slide-ins to something more custom. Let's say if they're already on your email list, well, you can change these boxes to actually be more sales driven, because assuming that they've already been here or they know about the offer, you can actually change these little boxes down here. I know it's kind of small on the page to actually, sync up with the customer or the person on your email list and their journey. So just think about, if someone's on your email list already, you have the ability to segment them further that gets them closer to an offer, but also just gives them a better journey and experience overall. So just think about how you can do that with your own offers and also with affiliate links. All right, so takeaways, and this is that last strategy. So triggering emails from your content. How can you dynamically trigger emails and other things in the background that's relevant to your content that people just consumed? And again, it's kind of creating the rabbit hole for folks, kind of like what YouTube would do. Obviously, they're way more advanced, but that's all based off of interest and action. So that's always going to give you better increased engagement overall and conversions. So if someone's actually consuming content, that's them raising their hand, showing interest around something. So you want to give them the next step. And then you could trigger emails that remind them of that offer, that the offer exists, and maybe even do like a little mini promo just to that segment if you wish. You can even automate that. So you can always have these perpetual promotions happening within a period of time just to that audience. All right, big takeaways. So wrapping this puppy up. And this was leveraging content to grow a tribe of buyers. Hopefully it got your wheels spinning. A couple things I want to leave you with is figure out what your journey looks like. If you don't have one, that's okay. Start to craft one. Think about the one that you just saw from us, and always keep in mind, what is next? What's the next action that someone should take with your content? And that should give you a lot of options, but figure out just one next action. You don't want to give them a whole bunch of options. Next thing is repurpose your free content into paid content. Just make it a different form, make it a higher value, and make it relevant to the path that people are on when they're consuming your content. Because we all have free content out there, stuff that's not really leveraged enough. This is your opportunity to make it something really valuable for your business. Third thing here is add URLs to your free content. So if you see an opportunity to take your existing content and extend the journey, take them to another blog post, video, audio, books. I mean, there's other things. Take them to free content, more offers, affiliate offers. I mean, things that are relevant, but always lead with value. But just do a little audit of your current content and make sure there's a journey happening through that content onto something else. You don't want to have a dead end there. And then the last one here is think about how you can use email triggers for your email or for your actual content, and how you can present relevant offers or relevant content to the folks who are going through your journey that you've crafted. So just wanted to leave you with one opportunity. If you want to screenshot this, this is your opportunity to do so. But figure out how your journey looks, and just remember that this middle piece can get swapped out, and all these pieces really can, but just have in mind what is the next step with folks. I wanted to thank you very much for watching me, and hopefully you will take action. That's what matters the most, and reach out if I can ever help. I'm here to support. Thank you very much. Have a great event. See you next time.